Hi, I'm Brooke and this is my TED Talk, How Spain's Cruelty to Galgos Shaped My Future. To start off with, I'm going to introduce you to my dogs. This is Marlo, Feline, Eden in the back, Ricky, who is with us today. This is Bailey, Lucy, and Gemma. Now, these pictures in the background are from 4-H. I do 4-H with these dogs. I work in rally, obedience, showmanship, agility. That's flyball, and that's just an example of me showing Ricky in this case, a couple of years ago. Now this is Luke. He was a rescue dog. His previous owners neglected him. They abandoned him outside with only a shelter, no food, no water. My best friend was feeding him and taking care of him. They let us know, and we took him in and we let him live out the remainder of his life with us. He was a very happy dog. He didn't deserve to be abandoned. So I already have firsthand experience rescuing dogs, working with dogs. I very much am involved with dogs. They are an integral part of my life. And when I was in high school, I had to do a research project and I chose Spanish Greyhounds. That was where I first learned about the cruelty that these dogs are subject to. These dogs are bred to hunt hares in Spain, generally from, I believe the hunting season is February to April or May. They end up being dumped either on the sides of the roads or killed at the end of the hunting season because they have lived out their usefulness. Spanish Greyhounds used to be very prestigious and considered a high standard dog, like royalty would have them. And as you can see, they have been brought very low by humans. This is just a website explaining how they went from being very refined dogs to treated very poorly. And this is a video from one of the organizations that we're going to learn about that shows exactly what these dogs have to deal with when they're discarded, when they're dumped. As you can see, the dogs are severely malnourished. They can have mange, they can have broken bones. I have seen pictures of these dogs with bones jutting out of their legs. A lot of the dogs rescued don't make it just because of the injuries they sustained, either during the hunting or afterwards, being left to fend for themselves. This is the organization that made that video, Galgos del Sol. That is the founder. What happened was she went out, she lived in Spain, and she saw some galgos wandering the streets. She rescued them and realized what an amazing dog they are. And from then, she decided that she was going to dedicate her life to saving them. They go out and they rescue these dogs. They set out cages, they set out food to bring these dogs in and treat them and adopt them out. This was the first organization that I learned about when I researched this for my project, and I have followed them on Instagram since high school, learning and watching their journey and how they've built as an organization working and helping these dogs. This next group is Galgopod. And this is just a story from one of the ladies who adopted galgos from them. They're just another organization that rescues the dogs and adopts them out. This is just a story of a woman from Canada who adopted a couple of them, and she made the newspaper trying to raise awareness in Canada about these dogs. It's really great to see people going out and sharing their stories about what they're doing and how they're helping these dogs. This website right here has a bunch of videos and news articles of people rescuing these dogs and going out and them sharing their stories, trying to raise awareness. It also has articles that are about the Spanish Greyhounds and what they're facing. Spain has very poor animal welfare laws. That is how this cruelty goes on so easily. They really don't have any rules, any regulations against it, and what little they do have is very poorly enforced. And there are very few shelters out there working like these guys are to raise awareness. So it's really nice to see the newspapers sharing. These are pictures on what these animals face. So the first one is instruments of torture and murder. How these dogs, if they aren't dumped, they are killed. The hunters don't waste bullets on them because they don't think it's worth the metal or lead. They don't think it's worth the energy. But they will dump them in trash bags. They will throw them in wells and leave them to drown or starve. They also will tie rocks to ropes and throw them out in lakes and let them drown. They will beat them with metal poles, but the worst one is called piano playing. What happens is the dogs are hung by a noose from a tree with their paws barely above the ground, so they scramble right above the ground, inches away from being able to live, and it's basically just a cruel way for these hunters to watch the dog die. This is the survival rate of galgos in Spain. Hunters generally start out with 20 after they have weaned the best of the best from the way they train them. They train them by dragging them behind trucks to make them go fast, to make them run faster. So whoever doesn't make that cut is dumped or killed, and they're left with about 20. After the season, they have about 5. They just get rid of them. They have no use for them. They aren't house pets to them. They're just usable items, tools for hunting. And that's very hard to watch as a dog lover because working with dogs means so much to me, and seeing how poor animal welfare laws affect the treatment of domestic dogs in a way really drove me to want to work with animals and to rescue animals. It really pushed me towards that. The last group is the Daphne Legacy Tour. This video is a bit spotty. Our internet isn't the best, so we'll see how well it works. This is about a Colorado woman who went to Spain and adopted a galgo and lived with her and realized how much she loved these dogs. And after the dog passed away...
First question. Can one life really change the world? We know of one that did. Born into a life of suffering, Daphne was one of an estimated 100,000 galgos, thoughtlessly overbred, overworked for sport, and eventually abandoned or even slaughtered each year. She was found injured and terrified in the streets of Cadiz in 2008. She was brought to one of the few available shelters, and in a moment of universal alignment, an American visiting Spain had just learned of the plight of the galgos. Christina decided that this one life would endure. 26 hours and 3 flights later, the two arrived at their new home in Colorado and began their new lives together. Christina soon realized that Daphne, who had never known comfort or kindness, had no idea how to simply be a dog. Over time, Daphne learned to overcome separation anxiety, how to make friends with other dogs, and how to trust humans. On August 20th, 2017, held by the humans who loved her, organizations in Spain.
Like I said, the internet's a little spotty here, so...
She knew they deserved more than rescue. They deserved the life that Daphne had. Last year, Juvian running close support of the Daphne Legacy Tour resulted in the largest single migration of galgos in history. 24 were safely transported from Spain to forever homes in the U.S. and are with loving families because the legacy of one incredible life inspired hundreds to do something. Can one life really change the world? Absolutely. So here's the second question. What are we going to do for the galgos this year?
So this group was really exciting for me to learn about because up until now, I really didn't know of any groups that did any adoptions in the US. There are very few airports, there are very few places that these dogs can come over and be adopted out in the US. They're generally adopted out in Spain and sent to different countries. So this is something that I'd wanted for a really long time because I couldn't go adopt a galgo, obviously without my parents' consent when I was younger, and we weren't going anywhere anytime soon. So knowing that they can potentially be out in shelters now is really amazing. Now lastly, my future plans are to become an animal cruelty investigator and work with the Humane Society rescue team. Those plans were definitely shaped by the situations the galgos faced, because learning that led me to the decision that I wanted to rescue animals in need. Knowing what they went through helped me realize that I wanted to stop other animals from going through that and suffering like that. And obviously I want to become a rescue dog mom. This is from an internship that I had, that's me in the corner, where I worked with the Erie County SPCA rescue team. That was where we rescued a black swan from the canal right before winter. Black swans are native to Australia and really can't survive our winters, so that swan was relocated to a man who already had several other species that he was taking care of, and to wait out the winter to live and survive happily. Because someone had just dumped her in the canal, or she escaped, we weren't sure. But working with them and learning about the issues that the galgos face definitely led me and helped me confirm that that's where I wanted to go. That was what I wanted to do, was help rescue these animals, mainly dogs because I have such big ties to them, but just animals in general, rescuing them and helping them. And that is how the Spanish Greyhounds shaped my future and led me to my current goal. Thank you.